I must express personal disappointment at the direction of Senator Ervin's statements this morning in his press conference. It would seem to me that as chairman of a select committee plagued by irresponsible leaks of tidal wave proportions, we might have expected some constructive assurances from the chairman concerning improvement on the conduct of the business of his committee. Let me repeat. The White House intends to cooperate fully with the committee. We will not, however, and do not intend to try the issues on television shows and press conferences by leaks, innuendo, or by overstatement. I would encourage the chairman, now that he has returned, to get his own disorganized house in order so that the investigation can go forward in a proper atmosphere of traditional fairness and due process.
I think there's frankly no need for a special prosecutor. We've discussed this before. You have two Senate committees that are looking into this. The FBI is conducting their own review. And I think if you even look at what Acting Director McCabe said last week, he made it very clear that they have the resources that they need and that the work continues.
Right. Okay. I just want to get the White House statement because we're getting it right now. Jeff Zeleny, what are they saying?
No, he says this. I'll read it with you. As I have stated many times, a thorough investigation will confirm what we already know, that there was no collusion between my campaign and any foreign entity. The president goes on to say this: I look forward to this matter concluding quickly. In the meantime, I will never stop fighting for the people and the issues that matter most to the future of our country. It ends with that. So, Aaron, it is three sentences, from the president himself directly, who again only learned of this as he was interviewing FBI directors, potential directors, this afternoon, and he was told this. He was not asked about it, not asked for his input. He was told this. So, of course, he again is saying he looks forward to this matter ending quickly. But, Aaron, that is very much hopeful and wishful thinking. The reality here is it settles into this White House that this will be the soundtrack of the summer, perhaps much longer than that, into the fall. It has now overtaken the legislative agenda and everything else, but that is the first word coming from the president. Aaron.
All right, thank you very much, Jeff Zeleny. And John, let me give you a chance to respond to that. Very short, very terse. Thorough investigation will confirm what we already know. There was no collusion between my campaign and any foreign entity. I look forward to this matter concluding quickly. That is from the President of the United States.
That is from the President of the United States and also clearly from his press shop. It is a very controlled statement. It doesn't sound much like Donald Trump, but I think that speaks to the severity of this moment and how much they were taken aback. Mm-hmm. What I think is particularly difficult is when he says that, a thorough investigation will vindicate, as he has long said. This is not an administration which has been welcoming accountability in any form. And the fact that it came through this route, Rod Rosenstein, who'd been, a lot of questions raised about that memo he wrote that led to the firing of Director Comey, this direct declaration of independence by him, outside communication with the White House and the Attorney General, is really striking and has completely changed the game in Washington and will for months.
To end any question of your involvement in Watergate.
Well, Ms. Thomas, as you know, the matter of the Judiciary Committee's investigation is now being discussed by White House counsel Mr. St. Clair and Mr. Doar. And as I indicated in my State of the Union address, I am prepared to cooperate with the committee in any way consistent with my constitutional responsibility to defend the office of the presidency against any action which would weaken that office and the ability of future presidents to carry out the great responsibilities that any president will have. Mr. Doar is conducting those negotiations with Mr. St. Clair, and whatever is eventually arranged, which will bring a prompt resolution of this matter, I will cooperate.
John, on Ms. Thomas's question, you say you will cooperate with the Judiciary Committee, but you can't say yet precisely to what extent. Can you tell us if you anticipate you'll be able to cooperate at least to the extent that you cooperated with Mr. Jaworski in terms of turning over to the Judiciary Committee roughly the same tapes and documents that Mr. Jaworski has?
Well, this is a matter, Mr. Gerald, that has been discussed by Mr. St. Clair with Mr. Doar, and the decision will be made based on what arrangements are developed between the two for the confidentiality of those particular items where they must remain confidential, and also based on whether or not turning over to the committee will in any way jeopardize the rights of defendants or impair the ability of the prosecution to carry on its proper functions in the cases that may develop. It's a matter that we are talking about, and it's a matter where we will be cooperating within those guidelines. I made my mistakes, but in all of my years of public life, I have never profited from public service. I've earned every cent. And in all of my years of public life, I have never obstructed justice. And I think, too, that I can say that in my years of public life, that I welcome this kind of examination, because people have got to know whether or not their president's a crook. Well, I'm not a crook. I've earned everything I've got. President.